Hitting those wild tee shots can be so frustrating. You feel like you hit a solid one, you look up, and it's snap hooking or it's slicing up over the trees. Well, the reason this is happening is because you're coming down steep. You need to start getting the club to shallow out and work from the inside. So what does it mean to be steep? Well, if you're steep, we're referencing how the club is pitched in the start of the downswing, right? So this would be a steep shaft, and this would be a shallow shaft. Ideally, we would see this club, the butt end of this club, to be pointing a little bit outside the golf ball as we're coming down. That would be ideal. If it's inside the ball, that's going to be considered a steep position. Well, why is this an issue? Well, when you're steep, you basically have two options. You either have option number one, where you stay in your posture and you come over the top, right? And that's going to be your big slice because your path is to the left, the face gets open, and you hit a big slice. The other thing that I see some better players do to compensate for this is they'll be steep, but then they'll stand up out of it, and now the club is working too much from the inside. I throw my hands at it, and there's the big snap hook into the woods, right? So we need to get this club in a shallow position so that way we can stay in our posture, rotate into the ball, have that nice square face, hit those easy, dead straight drives. So what are the easy and simple things that we can do to make this happen? We heard we need to shift our weight. We need to do something with our elbow. We need to be doing something with our lead leg, right? Those are all things that can definitely help, but what are the really simple things that we can do and go implement at the range right now? Well, when I look at most players who are struggling coming down steep, it starts with the setup. So when you set up with the driver, because the ball position is more forward, we're going to tend to open our knees, we're going to tend to open our hips, we're going to tend to get our arms, our trail arms going to kind of come over, our shoulders tend to open up, basically so that way we can kind of face the golf ball, right? This feels very comfortable. I'm exaggerating, but if I come down and I'm like, this just feels very comfortable, like I'm facing the ball. Whereas if the ball was back here, I would be more square with things. So we have to make a concerted effort when we're in our setup with our driver to get everything to feel like everything is really closed off. So what I would try to do when you set up with your driver, I would try to feel like your knees are pointing right of the target. The hips are pointing right of the target. My arms, right? I want to get my arms pointing right of the target. And the way that I would do that with my trail arm, I'd want to make sure that my elbow is kind of bent in and my point of my elbow is kind of pointing down toward my hip. If I get my elbow kind of pointing out like this, that means that I'm kind of coming over like this, and I'm going to tend to want to come over the top when I do that. So I want to make sure that my elbow is kind of tucked in like that. I'm going to get my shoulders even pointing to the right of the target. I actually want you to overdo these things at first. Let's get the club, let's get into a setup position that allows us to actually over-shallow the club at first, and then we can ease off of that. So get everything turned and pointing to the right, and then set up the ball. It's going to feel really weird. You're going to have more spine tilt. You're going to feel like you're way more behind the ball. But this is what the best players do to hit those nice, powerful draws down the middle of the fairway. So get everything pointed, get everything kind of closed off here in the setup. That's going to make things a lot easier. So that's step number one. Get into a setup position that allows you to more easily shallow out the club in the start of the downswing. Get everything really closed off. Step number two is to set up a feedback mechanism that is going to tell you whether you're shallowing out the club or not. So what I like to do is I like to take a head cover and I want to place it in front of about a club head width in front of the ball here. And then I want to place it along the target line. So if this is my target line right here, I'm going to place this head cover along the target line. And use your driver head cover because it's a little bit bigger than the other ones. So that way you won't swing over the top of it, right? If you use like a little hybrid head cover or something like that, you may be swinging over the top, but you may just swing over the top of it and it won't give you the feedback that you're looking for. So use this nice, big driver head cover so that way you're going to get the feedback that you're looking for here. Now the other thing that I like to do is I like to take an alignment stick, or you can use a club, but I like to place it behind the ball, about a foot behind the ball, but I want to angle it out to the right. It's almost like if I'm standing at home plate here, this is going to be pointing down the first baseline. And what this serves as is is a good visual for how I want to feel like this club is tracking down. Now this is exaggerated. We don't really want to swing 45 degrees into out, but like I said, we want to overdo shallowing out the club at first, so that way we can more easily ease off of it later. So I don't have a ball here right now, and for good reason, because I want you to start out just hitting the tee, right? So set up, get in your closed setup position, get everything pointed off to the right here, get that elbow tucked in, get everything nice and closed off here. And the first thing I want you to do, I kind of just want you to do like a shadow rep. So what that means is I want you to map out what the movement's going to be like in slow motion. So I'm going to go up to the top, and then I'm going to map out how would I get to where I would swing this club close to down this alignment stick here, hit the tee, and then miss the head cover as I'm coming through. So I'm just going to do a couple slow shadow repetitions where I'm getting the sense and feel for what I need to do there. Once I've done a few of those and I feel like, okay, I can do this in a normal swing, what I want you to do is I want you to set up to that, get everything nice and closed off here. All right, so I'm going to be nice and closed off with it. And I'm going to just take a nice, easy swing where I'm going to try to clip this tee and miss that head cover, right? Because if I hit the head cover, that's telling me that I'm not coming in shallow enough, right? I need to work on getting it more shallow. So I'm going to take a nice, easy swing here. So you can see there, I very easily missed the head cover there. I probably swung a mile from the inside. It's way too shallow, but that's what we need to feel here in the beginning stages. So that was a nice and easy swing. Work up to faster and faster swings. What I want you to do is I actually want you to get to where you can do 10 in a row, full speed swing, where you are missing the head cover and clipping that tee, right? If you hit the head cover, gotta start over, right? So the reason why we want to do this is that we don't want to jump start and go too fast and go to the next stage if we don't really have this part down yet. Because if you go to the next stage of this drill and you're not able to do this yet, you're just not going to be able to do the next stage. So we have to get 10 in a row at normal speed where we're clipping the tee, missing the head cover. Once we've done that, now what we can do is we can add the ball. And again, what I want you to do is I want you to map this out. Get your setup, get this to where you're mapping this out to where you're coming in and you be hitting the ball and missing the head cover. And again, start out with slower swings, right? Because it doesn't mean you can't try to do a full speed swing right off the bat, but most likely at full speed, because the added difficulty of having the ball there, you're probably going to hit the head cover. So don't worry about it. Start out with a slower swing if you want to, and then you can build up to that. Once you're able to do that, then I want you to do, again, 10 full speed swings, your normal speed, where you miss the head cover and hit the ball. Now, the key to this is I don't want you to worry about where the ball goes. The goal of this task is to hit the ball and miss the head cover, right? Because that's telling you that you are shallowing out the club. You're swinging the club from the inside. Right? You're probably going to hit it to the right, is most likely what's going to happen. You're probably going to hit like a push slice to the right. That's okay, as long as you are missing this, because that's the second stage, is missing the head cover. So stage one is missing the head cover without the ball, right? Stage two is missing the head cover with the ball there, but we don't care where the ball goes. Stage three is the next piece, and this is the piece that a lot of people struggle with, is how are we going to get this club face to square up as we're coming into contact. And this is an interesting piece because when you're coming down steep before, you're used to having this face more open, right? Because if you were to come down steep and over the top, and you also squared up this face or closed this face, you would hit the ball left and left, and your brain knows that, right? So what you do as a compensation for that, to get it even close to where you want it to get it to go less into the woods, right? What you'll do is you'll actually open the face. And if you have that same thing when you're swinging the club from the inside, you're going to hit it right and right. That's why people struggle so much with getting this club to shallow, because the club face, if the club face is open, you're going to hit the ball, it's going to start right and it's going to go to the right. And you may have done that a lot in that last stage of this drill. So what we need to do is we need to use the proper wrist positions and moves as we're coming down to get that club face to square up. So what I want you to do is to go into stage 3 of this drill, I want you to click the iCard that's going to appear up on your screen here, where Clay's going to go over the tennis racket drill. In the tennis racket drills, Clay's going to go over how to get this club face, how to get these certain wrist positions that we have to have as we're coming down to get this club face squaring up. So that way we can hit that nice, powerful draw, and we can rely on it every single time we step on the tee. We don't have to worry about where's this one going to go, right? So I'm going to play a preview of that tennis racket drill here in a minute, but if you want to see the whole video, click the iCard that's going to appear up on your screen, or click the link in the description below. That will take you to the full video as well. It's a completely free video. Check it out. I'll talk to you soon.
Good player problems. We're going to talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is, instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it, the flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time, I'm going to be rotating